Right into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani. Merry Christmas to you all. Welcome to Firstpost. Let's get started. The last week of 2023 is here, and we are taking this time to relive some of the best moments of the year gone by. The best sporting heroes to have emerged and dominated the world stage, and the most poignant and memorable sporting moments that have defined the sporting history and laid inroads for the year to come. But there is a lot going on in the world of sports that we can't miss. This year is also now going to be about nostalgia of players who have been more impactful together, combining and coming back to possibly create some magic again. As we wait for the reunion of the year, Messi and Luis Suarez are back again in another outfit. More on that in a bit. And the Indian cricket team punches above its weight, registering a historic win. Stay on to know more. And of course, our year-ender special that starts today, the one superstar to have made 2023 his very own across racket sports. But first, the headlines in Sports 360. India and South Africa will face each other in the Boxing Day test starting tomorrow. Virat Kohli has been included in the Indian squad for the red ball format. Ruturaj Gaikwad has been ruled out of both the test matches due to a finger injury. The last time India won a test series in South Africa was way back in 1992. Australian batter Usman Khawaja has been denied permission by the International Cricket Council to display a dove sticker on his bat and shoes. Khawaja was seen sporting two dove stickers during a net session. Previously, the ICC had fined Khawaja for wearing a black armband, calling it a political gesture towards Gaza. The ICC says that Khawaja has breached their dress code of displaying political messaging. This is just before their next test against Pakistan starting tomorrow. In football, Manchester City beat Fluminense 4-0 to lift the Club World Cup. Julian Alvarez scored a double for Manchester City. Fluminense defender Nino scored an own goal to add to their woes. Phil Foden scored the fourth goal to seal the win for the Sky Blues. City have become the first English team to hold the Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, Super Cup and Club World Cup all at the same time. British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe has bought 25% stake in Manchester United. The announcement comes 13 months after the club's owners, the Glazer family, stated they wanted to sell their stake. The deal will be worth almost $1.3 billion. Ratcliffe will also, in addition to that, invest $300 million into the club's home turf, the Old Trafford. This, of course, comes at a time when Manchester United is suffering the worst slump in their history. And in tennis, the Indian Davis Cup team will travel to Pakistan for their matches. The Indian team had objected travelling to Pakistan due to security concerns. The International Tennis Federation has ruled against India. If the Indian team fails to travel to Pakistan, a walkover will be awarded to the host country. The last time that India's tennis team travelled to Pakistan was in 1964, where they beat the hosts 4-0. Every footballer and fan remembers the golden years of Barcelona. From the year 2009 to 2021, if there was one star-studded team that completely dominated football, it had to be Barcelona. The team had the biggest names in the sport. Everyone remembers that Lionel Messi was the face of the club, but he also had a great support system around him. If you've been a Messi fan, then you know how close a bond he shares with Uruguayan striker Luis Suarez. At one point, the two were inseparable. Until Suarez, of course, left Barcelona in 2020, a year before Messi parted ways with La Liga as well. Suarez went on to play for Atletico Madrid and then on to a club in Brazil. Meanwhile, Messi, of course, went to France to play for PSG. The separation doesn't seem to have lasted too long. Everyone remembers Messi's move to America this year. He now plays for Inter Miami. And guess who's joining him? It's Luis Suarez. The duo are raring to take the field together once again. Messi won't be the only former Barcelona teammate, of course, that Suarez is going to come back and reunite with. Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets are also in Inter Miami. With Suarez also joining, the Barca boys are going to take American club football by storm.
La verdad que feliz y con muchísimas ganas de.
I'm happy and really looking forward to this challenge. I'm hopeful to help the club win more titles after winning its first last year, and I'm here to help them achieve their dreams of winning more titles, achieve great things, and Inter Miami can fight to win MLS, which is everyone's dream. The project is to win. I love the challenge. It is to win.
Suarez reuniting with Messi is certainly one thing, but the Uruguayan will also be with David Beckham, the owner of Inter Miami. There sure seems to be no dearth of legends at Miami now, and this may have been one of the major reasons why Suarez agreed to a pay cut just to play in Miami and get back to familiarity.
Otra de las decisiones que tomas de...
Another factor on deciding on joining Inter Miami is that there are friends and great players there. They are not just friends. They are players who prove in each game they are very well known on a global level. The best player in the world is there, and that generates a great expectation. After being with them for many years, having achieved many things together, makes us know each other very well. We don't need a lot of time to understand each other on the pitch, and I'm coming from the same mentality that they had of wanting to help, and have the same hope and desire as all Inter Miami fans want to win another title.
So why is Suarez and Messi reuniting such a big deal? Well, if you've tracked their years together at Barcelona, you'd know that the Messi-Suarez duo is a force to reckon with. Messi and Suarez played 258 matches together for Barcelona, and they were both goal-scoring machines for the Spanish side. When Messi and Suarez played together, Barcelona won over 70% of their matches. Messi scored over 230 goals when Suarez took the field alongside him, and Suarez scored 170 goals when Messi was beside him. Messi and Suarez scored almost 400 goals combined for Barcelona. No wonder they won just about everything. Barcelona won 4 La Liga titles when Messi and Suarez were together. For 4 years in a row, Barca topped the Spanish league. Barca also won the Spanish knockout tournament called Copa del Rey title 4 times with Messi and Suarez in their ranks. The two players also saw Barcelona lift the Champions League once during their tenure. It looks like they have a very special bond, almost as if Messi and Suarez are too well versed with each other's games. And this is bad news for clubs that will have to face Inter Miami. So what's next for the Argentinian-Uruguayan duo? For one, both Messi and Suarez will have to prove their fitness. Suarez is 37 years old and has been battling injuries. Just in June this year, Suarez was considering retirement after suffering from ankle and leg injuries. Messi too has suffered from injuries this year. He was forced to sit out for 6 weeks due to hamstring injury. It looks like the biggest challenge that Suarez and Messi face will be their very own bodies. But for now, Inter Miami is the most star-studded team in America, and everyone can't wait for these two to take the field. The Indian cricket team recorded a historic win over Australia in Test cricket for the first time and at home. Now, when I say this, you are a little surprised. Hasn't the Indian cricket team already done that? Well, of course, I'm talking of the women's cricket team led by Harmanpreet Kaur. They registered a historic win in the one-off Test match held at Wankhede Stadium in India's Mumbai. Let's look at how significant this win was. It's the first time in 11 attempts that India has managed to beat the mighty Australian side, and that too at home. This is the first time that Australia is in fact touring India since they last did, way back in 1984. With the test matches against England and now this one-off test against Australia, India completed what was in fact their first home season stretch in 28 years. Basically, this was the first time the Indian Eves have played more than one test match at home since 1995. So it's been a bit of a historic moment in more ways than one. The pitch was not easy to bat on. It was slow, and adapting to it was in fact the biggest challenge for both these sides. The Indian Eves were coming off a win against England at home, but at another venue. So what were the highlights for Australia, who ended up on the losing side? It was a massive test for new skipper Alyssa Healy. Although they didn't look as out of sorts as England had and did try to fight back, they made some rookie and silly errors that could have shifted the momentum earlier on and gave India much confidence going into the final 2 days. Some runouts, risky shot making and sloppy fielding made Australia lag behind in this 5-day test. Their big positives: Tali McGrath, who looked most comfortable in these conditions. Her batting was the one spark in a contest where the scorelines quite didn't tell the complete story. She was the most successful Aussie batter across both the innings. Ashley Gardner was the lone positive as far as the Aussie bowling lineup was concerned, chipping away with a bunch of wickets to put some pressure for India. There were far too many positives. I have to speak about debutant Richa Ghosh. A 50 in her debut test is something of a magic, and against a quality opposition such as Australia. This Indian side has some brilliant all-rounders or just cricketers who have multi-skills like Deepti Sharma, Pooja Vastrakar, who can turn up with both bat and ball. They are great in the field and the hunger to achieve is sky high. The lineup has so many youngsters who are simply fearless when it comes to playing a format like Test cricket. Sneh Rana was the standout performer for India though with the ball. She had the Aussies up in knots, especially in the second innings. Jemima Rodriguez coming in with some solid batting as well. In these conditions, India definitely looked the more steady and mature team of the two. And just going by how competitive the test was makes us wonder why aren't the women playing enough test matches. Healy too saying in the post-match interactions that she would have liked to come back and give India a tough fight in the second or third test had there been any. And a lot of them make test cricket a feisty contest and an enjoyable watch. Indian women's team have played a total of just 38 tests as of October last. The last time Indian women's team played a test match before this home stretch, of course, was way back in October 2022. There is a lot of familiarity with the talk and the teams now, thanks to Big Bash League and the Women's Premier League, which has seen a few of these guys sharing the same dressing room. The one sweet moment I would like to take back from this whole test came at the very end, post the match, when celebrations were on and teams were shaking hands, clicking pictures, and Alyssa Healy, skipper of the Aussie team, is seen clicking the pictures of some of the Indian girls posing in celebration. That is a picture worth so much more. Healy, in fact, clicking the picture of her WPL teammate Deepti Sharma and with the mentor of the franchise being Lisa Sthalekar, a former Australian cricketer herself. The cricketing ties between the two teams are definitely strong. The two teams stay back in India to bring in the new year, but before that they are starting off the ODI series that both are involved in. Of course, a T20 series follows right after. And let's not forget, it's a T20 year for the women cricketers as well. The Women's T20 Cricket World Cup is scheduled for the coming year in Bangladesh. So a lot riding on the series and against Australia, which is a giant when it comes to shorter formats and our ODI World Cup champions. They're in fact looking for revenge. The historic win, though, by the Indian Eves just notches up another memorable chapter for India when it comes to glorious sporting achievements in the year and changing the Indian sporting landscape. It has been a year for growth and an upswing for women's cricket. Now, it's been an action-packed year for sports, from Australia winning the Cricket World Cup to Simone Biles becoming the most decorated gymnast in history. Some of the stories this year demand more than a mention. So this week, we will bring you stories of the best athletes who stamped their grit and class all over 2023. And we will bring you what we believe are the top sporting moments of the year gone by. Do stay tuned for that every day. But today, as we look back to the year that was, there's one athlete who has defied all odds. Injuries, younger competition, age, drama, nothing has stopped Novak Djokovic. The Serbian broke record after record this year. The 36-year-old has left his competition way behind. Whether it was on clay, on grass or the hard courts, whether it was in Australia or the US. Djokovic has finished the year ranked world number 1 for the record 8th time in his career. What a year it has been for the tennis superstar.
Novak Djokovic has called 2023 one of his best years in his tennis career. The Serbian broke multiple records, and the 36-year-old Djokovic is extremely proud of his achievements. Throughout the year, Djokovic has been in hungry mode. He says that the age doesn't stop him and that he wants to win more titles. This is what Djokovic said back in July.
I don't feel more relaxed, to be honest. I still feel hungry for success, for more Grand Slams, for more achievements in tennis, and as long as there's that drive, I know that I'm able to compete at the highest level. If that goes down, then I guess I'll have to face probably different circumstances and have a different approach. But so far, there's still the drive.
Djokovic's drive has continued throughout the year. He won his 24th Grand Slam and surpassed his rival Rafael Nadal. The Serbian also left Roger Federer behind after winning the 7th ATP title of his career. Here's a look at the year that Djokovic had. He won 56 matches this year. The Serbian only lost 7 times to his opponents. Djokovic also won 3 out of the 4 majors this year. These were the Australian Open, the French Open and the US Open. He also won his 7th ATP Finals title of his career in 2023, setting a new record for most ATP titles. This year, Djokovic ended the season ranked world number 1, something he has now done a record 8 times in his career. And that's not all, Djokovic also spent over 400 weeks ranked world number 1. And all of this happened in 2023. Clearly, it was the year of Djokovic, even though that's not how the year started. In the beginning of the year, it was Carlos Alcaraz who was dominating the courts. The 20-year-old Spaniard was being touted as the next Rafael Nadal. Until Djokovic took the game away from Alcaraz and almost everyone else. And things are already heating up even before the next season has begun. After being away from the court for a year with back injury, Rafael Nadal has announced his comeback. He will compete in the Australian Open in January 2024. Along with Nadal, Alcaraz is also aware of the Djokovic threat.
Yes, totally. I think 2024 with the Olympics is going to be a special year for everybody. For the players, for the athletes, for the people who love sports, and obviously Djokovic. I think he has shown year after year that he is ready to win the 4 slams, that he is ready to win the gold. But well, we are here to stop him, aren't we? And obviously with many other players who are capable of beating him, of fighting for Grand Slams and major titles. I think it's going to be a very, very intense 2024.
It's starting to look like 2024 season is going to be Djokovic versus everyone. But that's the kind of environment Djokovic thrives in. The Serbian likes competition, and Djokovic is not somebody who will go down without a fight.
Thank you so much for watching us. We've come to the end of Firstpost. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas once more. Take care. We'll see you again tomorrow at 7 p.m.